Howdy y'all and welcome to Lax Lives. I think it's time we play a little Minecraft. Alright, so, oh man, you know what? I did not get as far along as I intended. I got distracted. I got distracted because people were down here and were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so then, of course, I had to show them everything. But I did get a little bit of work done today, and I did cook up a bunch of stone to start putting together the parking lot. I was actually out mining a bunch of terracotta. Whoa. Right? I think that's what it's called now. Instead of hardened clay, it's called terracotta. I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. Oh. Where are you going, dude? That is too far. You've gone off the rails. This is as far as we go right here. One, two, three, four, 6, 7. Oh, yep, that's right. Wait. See, now this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only goes over here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. That seems off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that throws me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dang it. I'm off by one. There. Okay, so not this one, this one. Yep, that was right. Don't know what I was thinking. Don't know what I was doing. Fixed it now. But, yeah, so... what else did I do? Oh, I put in the yellow lines. I was trying to line things up and get ready for today. Yeah, so I didn't get as much done ahead of time as I wanted. It's been a pretty busy weekend, and so I definitely knew that I wasn't gonna have a lot of time to get things done, and I definitely didn't expect our session today to take as long as it did. I really thought we'd move a little faster, but things did not progress as quickly as I anticipated. Not even a little bit. Yeah, we did our D&D session today. We didn't play last week because everybody was sick, but we did play my family D&D, I guess. Today was family D&D day. D&D day. Oh, I tell you what, I was talking to one of the people who lives here, and they're like, I think I want to go fishing today. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, but I want to go fishing today. And I'm like, well, good, then go by yourself. Well, I was going to ask the other guy, my brother-in-law, if he wanted to go fishing today. I'm like, yeah, it's because you want him to drive. And he already has scheduled D&D with me, so... Well, what's that? I'm like, we're going to play D&D. Well, but I wanted to go fishing. Yeah, but I already scheduled this. You could have gone fishing earlier in the week. We only have one day to play D&D. There's only one day that everybody's schedule matches up. Both you and him have been sitting around all week doing nothing. There was nothing that stopped you early in the week from doing some D&D, or doing some fishing, I mean. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So no, you can't have him. He's gonna be playing D&D today with me. Uh-oh. Yep, we got a problem here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Block. Yeah, that's actually got to come down here because this is off by 1. Dang it. Screwed that up. Which means this is off by 1. No, this is not off by 1. Never mind. Because that doesn't need a thing. This one needs a thing. Okay. There we go. There we go. That's better. And I'm like, no, every time I make plans with somebody else comes along, and they're like, oh, we should do the same, or we should do something on the same day you already have planned. And then it always seems like that my plans get shoved to the back. We played D&D today, though, after I told him no, he couldn't even ask. Because I hate it. It's like... Okay, now what have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this actually needs to come over to here. Yep, and then this has actually got to be filled back in. Because there's no yellow line on this side. There we go. Now I think I got it. But I know, like, what was it? King Kong, I think, I planned way ahead of time, and we set a date and a time, and then when we got to the date and time, somebody else had called earlier in that week, even though I had scheduled time way ahead of that with people. I'm like, oh, well, they wanted me to do something, and I told them yes, so we can just reschedule the thing you want to do for a later date. Why is that okay? Yeah. I also, like, stopped to get gas today, and, so my tank was getting close to empty, and so I stopped and started filling up the tank, and, well, I didn't start filling up the tank, I filled up the tank, and then when I got back in the car, sometimes when you stop your car, at least in my experience, Uh, it chugs slightly when you go to start it back up after filling your tank, you know. And so instead of just going vroom, starting right off the bat, it was like rah, 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 rah. And the guy was like, "Well, that doesn't sound good. How often does it chug like that?" And I'm like, "Dude, you've been in the car all day. I've started it 3 times, 4 times now in your presence. So how many times has it done that? Once. Once of the 4 times I have started my car has it done that." And he's like, "Well, it just, I'm like, "No, every time you ride with me, you complain about my car. So unless you are going to fork over the money to fix the things you don't like, shut it. I don't understand why you guys gotta complain every time I give you a ride. Every time." "Not every time." Yeah, you complained this week, you complained the previous week, you complained the week before that. Maybe you need to start riding with, I don't know, somebody else. "Well, yeah, either fork over the hundreds of dollars it's going to take to fix the little things that are wrong with my car that you don't like, or shut your mouth." "Your brake squealed." "I know. I heard it. I'm in the same car." "Your car needs new tires." "I know. I know these things. You know I know these things, so why do you got to bring it up every time you get in the car? Give me $400 and I'll go get new tires." "No? Then shut it." I got really irritated today about that. Uh, but yeah, so our D&D session, let's see. We, so 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I went over what we did 2 weeks ago. We joined the Hunters Guild that hunts monsters, and so I'm playing with my sister, her husband, and their 6-year-old kid. My nephew, 6-year-old nephew, and so um, we got going today, and it took forever because they aren't as familiar with what's going on as I am. I still am not that familiar, but I'm a little more familiar than they are, and so it probably took close to 45 minutes to walk my sister through what happened to her character when it went up a level. Um, Now she doesn't understand what going up a level means, but there were a lot of changes that happened to her character, and so um, trying to that was one point where I had to look something up because I am kind of new myself to caster classes. When I play D&D at other times, I play a fighter, which is way easier to go up levels with. I don't think it's any easier to fight with a fighter because of how many different things are involved in all the different classes, but setting up a caster is way more difficult. And I know we spent a lot of time with her today trying to get her character all ready for level 2, and then we got going, and they had to fight in an arena last time to get initiated into the Hunters Guild. Make sure they were made of the right stuff to. The Hunters Guild isn't like hunting animals. It's basically the long-range special forces for the town. When I say town, I mean city of thousands of people. And so there isn't necessarily a military. There is a city watch, and then there's the claws. And the claws do things like hunt down um, whatever's affecting the townsfolk on the monster side of things, or bandits in the mountains, or things like that. And which is what we dealt with today. Was hunting down. Well, first a consecration ritual went wrong in the graveyard, and so we had to clean up some undead to start with. And only one person almost died, and then it's because his AC is so low. He's got to get some better stats, man. And then and then but yeah, first we had to get introduced to all the people at the Hunters Guild, so that took a while. And then once we got through that, okay, now I think the next thing I want to do is let's make some stone slabs here. And so then after that, that's a lot of stone slabs. I kind of introduced a major upcoming plot point today as well. Um, no information about what it is, but like just brought up the fact that there's a lot of groups who work at the guild, and they are a lower rank of the guild. Now I'll probably change this later, but this is gonna be the start of things right here. Yep, don't know why I did that, because we already know that there isn't going to be anything over there. So let's go ahead and wall this off. But they got introduced to the different sections in the guild, and it's basically an arena where they fight monsters, and they use the monster fighting to test people, to see if they are capable of being members of the guild. Since the guild is responsible for the safety of the city, they need to know that people are powerful enough to hey, look, right here is some more. I really need to set up an automated system for this stuff. But yeah, they all right, let's see if we can get up a little higher and see how this looks. Oh yeah, that looks like a parking lot. I like that a lot. Nice. I'm going to put a little wall around it here as soon as I decide how I want to put a wall around it. I think I might change out some of the blocks involved here. I did get some glowstone today, so I got some glowstone while I was in the nether wandering around. Let's go ahead and take some of these And some of these. And why don't you take those? Oh, you're out of fuel. Okay. I guess we'll go with 10 of these. I have enough, so there we go. Okay, and we'll use one of my favorite lighting systems in the game. I'm always a big fan of this one, if I remember how to make it work. uh, I like the torch. Block light. And then a nice little... Yep. Totally not what I wanted. Wow. That was... Not sure how that happened. There we go. I like how that looks. I think that looks awesome. And we'll go ahead and do one down here. Okay. And that is a block, a light, and then a nice little cap on top of it. And we'll do one on the opposite side here as well. Yeah, so they what? Derp. Let's try again. There you go. Then that. Then that. So while they were meeting with the head of the guild, I'd introduce this guy, and he's got like 3 big claw strikes across his face, big scars. And one of them asked him, and so every time he's been asked, he's given a different story about how the claw marks are on his face. And I think one was he got too fresh with a half-orc waitress in a bar. He that one was my favorite. I forget what the other one was. They only asked a couple of times. The half-orc waitress was my favorite one. I think the other one was a training accident, is what he said. And so they don't know what the truth is, and he hasn't revealed it yet. And so, but today, when they went to see the guy for their completing their initiation into the guild, he's sitting at his desk, and they bring him this stack of reports for contracts for the Hunters Guild, and then he kind of does a little intake of breath, and all the scars on his face go white. And then he immediately calls for one of the higher ups in the military arm of the guild. Not military arm, but one of the other groups of fighters that are a little more farther advanced. And so she shows up, the leader of that group, and he tells her that she has to take care of it, and then she looks at it and gives a double take, and tells them that she thinks they should be able to handle it, but she's going to need another group with her. And they've already been introduced to her as being the biggest, toughest fighter in the guild, her and her group, and so they're all looking around wide-eyed today. I'm just chuckling a little bit inside, and it's war. Uh, that's that's what they got today. Was the start of the war that I'm hoping to make the upcoming focal point of the story. But for now, they're just out and about cleaning up people's messes. I think today they did the thing in the graveyard. You know, I need to do something different from the end of this. Now this should come across like so. I wonder if I shouldn't do one in the middle of all this that is just a post in the middle. I think I might do that. I don't even need to do a post. I could just do a double slab, and that would work out fine. I just think that's too far across for the... You know what? Actually, you know what I could do? What did I do over here? Let me take a look. I don't want to duplicate. This is just... Oh yeah, see, this would be totally different. I'm going to change this, actually. I got a better idea. But yeah, so they went and they fought in a small crypt, just one room, and then they headed out to farm that's been overrun by giant spiders, and so they got out there and fought the giant spiders today. And oh dang it, you know what? I was gonna do something, but I didn't have any of the parts I needed on me. And so a different one almost died on that one. I mean, you're not supposed to be killing off your players, you know, unless it happens. But yeah, I don't know. The one guy, he's been unconscious like every fight practically until the spiders. That was the first fight. I think he didn't get knocked out. He might not have been knocked out in the very first one, so but he was out of the second one, the third one. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so then they headed out to this farm, and when they got there, it was the guy was in town, and so he wasn't going to hang out at his spider overrun farm. They ate all his cows because they're giant spiders, giant wolf spiders, and that's not a spider that looks like a wolf. That's just a brown spider that it's a hairy brown spider that hunts its prey by running after it or building web nests on the ground that it waits for. Dang it! That it waits for prey to get near and then jumps out and grabs them. We have them here, not giant ones, but regular-sized ones. Although the regular-sized ones can get pretty big, but not that big. No spider that I'm aware of gets that big. I think wolf spider runs from about what, a quarter inch to an inch adult size, maybe a little bigger than an inch if it's a really big one. And I have seen some really big ones, but yeah. So yeah, and that didn't even get him to the rest of the things that I had planned today. I don't know. they took so long getting out of the place that originally that I had planned for. You go take a nap, you get ushered into the office, you get your list of jobs that need to be done, and then you go do some jobs after being introduced to a major plot point. And and I'm pretty sure it took us over an hour to get out of the first part that was only going to take like 10 minutes. And so I also didn't expect it to take as long as it did for. Oh man, that looks nice. I like that a lot. Uh, the only thing I need in here is some light, maybe on this end of things. Um, but that's gonna be the building, so I can't really put light in there yet. Um, but yeah, I planned out for today was just a series of short encounters, just so they could get a feel for their characters. We're not quite to level 3. Well, we're not to level 3 at all. They got a good chunk of it today, though. I think they're at 500 of 900 XP. So probably next session they'll hit level 3, because level 2 is when casters come into their own, and level 3 is when everybody else comes into their own. And so level 3 is when your fighter chooses what kind of fighter it is. Level 3 is when the rogue chooses what kind of rogue they are. I don't know who's shooting at me, but y'all can stop. Ow. You're not doing a good job of stopping. Dang it. Whoop. And but I know, like, my sister, she's playing a druid, and her druid's already basically what her druid's going to be at level 2. And the monk kind of got his thing at level 2 as well, although he does get to choose what kind of monk. But the fighter didn't get, just got the ability to take an extra action. I mean, which is awesome, but it's, you know, at level 3, fighter chooses... Oh, dang it. Can I please have that? Do I just not... Don't have any space. Thank you. At level 3, a fighter chooses their archetype, and so then they become like magic using fighter, or... Oh, look, I screwed it up on this side too. Only I screwed it up. Oh no, it's still there. And I'm gonna have to look carefully at those because I don't know which one I personally want to take for my fighter, because I'm also playing a character which weirdly is frowned upon. I don't know why that's frowned upon, because you'd think that being the DM, you'd also like to participate in your own story. And I like playing the game too. I just make sure my guy doesn't give out any hints or react in a way that makes it, you know, like he knows what's going on. So I don't know why. I assume there must be, you know, horror stories of DMs who put themselves in the center of their own story and know where everything's at. And that's why it's so frowned upon. But I've never in anything I play that involves choosing someone to run the game and other people to play the game, I've never had a hard time separating my playing character from the knowing DM. So, um, usually just means you don't do the interrogations or things like that. You don't decide where people are going. You just kind of go along for the ride, but you get to fight in the combat, uh, which makes it fun for me, anyways. All right. Ah, dang it! I did it again. I am going to go ahead and call the episode here, I guess. And oh yeah, I like how that looks. So click like if you like, subscribe. Be sure and catch the next one. We'll talk to you later.